Welcome to the audiobook summary of the book Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. There are two kinds of freedom, the freedom of nations and the freedom of the mind. A country can be free, yet a man can still be in chains. A man can be in prison, yet his mind can soar. Viktor Frankl understood this truth better than most. He was a psychiatrist, a thinker, a man who had studied the mind. And then, the world threw him into hell. In 1942, the Nazis took Frankl from his home in Vienna. They stripped him of his clothes, his career, his family, his dignity. They sent him to the concentration camps, a place where life was measured in days, where cruelty was routine, where hope seemed impossible. And yet, in that nightmare, Frankl discovered something extraordinary, that even when everything is taken from you, one freedom remains, the last freedom. The freedom to choose your own attitude in any situation. This book, Man's Search for Meaning, is his testament, a map for surviving the darkest conditions, a guide for finding purpose even in suffering, and today, it speaks as powerfully as it did then.
Chapter 1: A Prison Without Walls. Imagine waking up in a place where the air smells of ash. Where you are a number, not a name. Where each day begins with uncertainty and ends with exhaustion. Frankl lived through Auschwitz, Dachau, Theresienstadt. Life in the camps was a slow erosion of the soul. Men arrived healthy, strong, hopeful. Weeks later, they shuffled like ghosts, hollow-eyed, silent. The smallest things became the difference between life and death, a piece of bread shared, a coat against the cold, a word of kindness. But Frankl noticed something. Two men could face the same hunger, the same beating, the same freezing nights, and one would give up, while the other kept walking. What made the difference? It was not strength, not health. It was meaning.
Chapter 2: The Last Freedom. Frankl wrote, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. The guards could strip away clothes, food, shelter, but they could not force you to hate. They could not dictate whether you gave up hope. They could not stop you from imagining a better future." This is the deepest form of freedom. It is the independence of the soul. Some prisoners cursed their fate. Others still found ways to see beauty, a sunrise through barbed wire, the memory of a loved one's smile. Frankl himself, in the depths of suffering, would imagine standing in a lecture hall after the war, speaking about the psychology of survival, teaching others how to find meaning. It was this vision that gave him the strength to go on.
Chapter 3: Suffering as a Teacher. Frankl realized something that changed him forever. Suffering is not meaningless. It becomes meaningless only when we cannot see its purpose. Pain, loss, hardship, these are not things we choose. But they can become teachers. They can shape us into who we are meant to be. In the camp, the question was not will I suffer? The question was how will I respond to my suffering? Some turned bitter. Some became cruel themselves. But a few chose another way. They chose dignity. They chose to act as if life still had meaning. Frankl compared it to a sculptor. The hammer strikes. The chisel cuts. It hurts. But slowly, a masterpiece takes shape.
Chapter 4: Why Meaning Matters More Than Happiness. In the modern world, we chase happiness, but Frankl argued that happiness is a side effect, not a goal. If you aim directly for happiness, it slips away. But if you aim for meaning, happiness comes as a byproduct. Meaning is what allows people to endure hardship. Athletes endure pain for the sake of victory. Parents sacrifice for their children's future. Leaders work tirelessly for a cause. In the camp, if you had a reason to live, you could endure almost anything. If you had no reason, you were already gone.
Chapter 5: Love as the Ultimate Meaning. One cold morning, Frankl was forced to march for miles. He was starving, exhausted, close to collapse. But in that moment, he thought of his wife, her face, her voice, her love. He did not know if she was alive or dead, but in his mind, she was with him. And in that instant, he realized, love is the ultimate and highest goal to which man can aspire. Even in the darkness, love gave him light. Even in despair, love gave him purpose.
Chapter 6: The Danger of Emptiness. After the war, Frankl saw another danger. Not the danger of suffering, but the danger of emptiness. When people have no cause to live for, no mission, no deep sense of meaning, they drift. They numb themselves with distraction, pleasure, power, comfort. He called this the existential vacuum, a spiritual emptiness that eats away at the soul.
Chapter 7: Choosing Your Response. Frankl's central lesson is simple. Life is not about what happens to you, it is about how you respond. You may not choose your suffering, but you choose whether it makes you bitter or better. You may not control your circumstances, but you control your inner world. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose, and in that choice lies our growth and our freedom.
Chapter 8: Living with Purpose After Survival. Frankl survived the camps. But survival was not the end of his journey, it was the beginning. He dedicated his life to helping others find meaning. He developed logotherapy, a form of therapy that helps people discover purpose in their lives. He wrote, he lectured, he healed. His message to the world was clear: do not wait for life to hand you meaning. Choose it. Create it. Live it.
Conclusion: freedom starts in the mind. Independence Day is about the freedom of nations, but Frankl's story reminds us of another kind of independence, the freedom no one can take from you, the freedom of your mind. True freedom begins when you take responsibility for your own attitude, when you decide that life has meaning, no matter the hardship, no matter the darkness. We may never face what Frankl faced, but we will face trials of our own, and when we do, we can remember his words, that life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose. So this Independence Day, celebrate not only the freedom of your country, but also the freedom within yourself, the freedom to live with purpose, the freedom to turn suffering into strength, the freedom to search and to find your meaning. If you like our audiobook summaries, please subscribe to encourage us, and we will keep on uploading the content of your liking. Thank you for listening.